All right, guys, Mike Renato with Mr. Shaun Webb here for Athletic Motion Golf here at the beautiful David Toms 265 Academy. Now, we really appreciate all the comments, emails we've been getting on our videos so far, and a really awesome segment of golf in general are you guys who are probably, I would say, 60 years and above. We're getting a lot of questions and comments from that group. That's a massive part of golf population. These are guys who are playing a lot during the week.
They're retired.
Who want to get better. They've done their work. Now they want to enjoy the game and really get out there and just beat up on each other.
We want to help you do that.
But with that freedom to play usually comes some loss of flexibility, some from that age group. And one guy in particular called us in and he said he's had 2 hip replacements. He's really lost a ton of flexibility. And he wants to know, and he's got a very common question with a lot of golfers in this age group. He wants to know how he can not lose so much distance, play better golf when he doesn't feel like he can get a lot of rotation.
Okay. Yeah. So here at David Toms Academy, we've got fortunate enough to have a Gears Golf 3D motion analysis system. So I happened to have a gentleman in last week who was 72 years old and basically suffering from some of the same stuff. He actually had only 1 hip replaced, not 2. But let's go ahead and take a quick look at his swing here. I'm going to pull him into the backswing and we're going to talk about some of the things we're seeing. And you may have been experiencing some of the same things with your swing. But so let's call that kind of change of direction, top of the backswing. And we've already looked at this beforehand. He's got 25 degrees of hip rotation. So this would be 65 in his trunk.
Yeah, so this would be 0. So we're looking at about maxed rotation right there.
Yeah.
Tour average would be somewhere in here.
Yeah, so this golfer,
quite a significant drop.
Severely, you know, in their mind, they might think they're limited. We'll talk about that in a minute. But definitely a tough spot, and you kind of see he has to make almost like a lurching move with his body just to get some kind of hand path going and get some speed going. Yeah. So, you know, with this golfer, the paramount to try to get this guy somehow to get more rotation. Now, the first thing he said was he's trying to keep his trail leg flexed, or you know, some bend in it.
So yeah, we're looking like trying to rotate and keeping this leg like it's basically in a cast.
And he wanted it kicked in because he said Ben Hogan.
Oh yes. So you've got from this way, you got kind of here, and that's
severely. It puts, you know, there's
my word, that doesn't feel good.
Yeah, and there's anatomy behind this that we can get into in another video. But this is not the position you want to try to turn from. It actually limits your turn. So massively. You know, the kind of scope of this video is how do you get more turn if you have hip restrictions. I think the first thing you do is take out some of the stuff that you're already putting in that's holding you back.
Yeah, we're really big. If you've seen any of our videos so far, you know we're really big on the right concept. Yeah. And there's no bigger illustration than this with kicked in move and flex and all that.
So I immediately tried to get him out of that concept thought process, and that took a little coaxing.
Yeah, that's right.
Because he's been taught that by somebody else. But we did that. Mike, what's something else we could do? Just talking lower body right now. What's something else we could do to get the lower turning more so the arms travel and the upper body turns more?
So think of it for no more. Forget golf swing and just think athletic motion. Just so happens to be our name. Think of an athletic motion. So if you were going to pick up a golf ball, any kind of ball, and throw it, you would just do one of these. So what I did was get off of this foot and throw it. So golf swing wise, it's allowing you to get a wider range of motion by getting pressure off of this rear heel. And it looks like right here, he's got them both firmly planted. Yeah,
this guy did have them planted, and oddly enough, you say that was one of the keys I gave him, was to allow, you know, the left heel to come up, which to some people, they think they're breaking a golf rule, like you always say.
You hear, well, I shouldn't be dancing and all that. Well, folks, you have a couple options. You can really restrict your range of motion and just hope a gust of wind comes behind you and helps pick up club head speed, or you can take what's available to you, and we've all got limitations, and really maximize it.
You've got to move. This whole idea of being restricted and holding motion and holding angles, it holds people back. And this guy's basically making a half a backswing. And you know, with Jacobs 3D, you know, we start to understand how much more advantage we get from the club swing around to a little bit
The
longer
analogy I
position.
love using is if you wanted to get your car going 80 miles an hour, would you want to do it down the street or over a mile?
Exactly. So you guys that are getting a little bit older in age, we all are, but you know, getting into the senior category, he never gets old. But you want to get this left arm swinging up a little bit farther up in the backswing so you have more time to generate force. You're not going to do it keeping all this locked out.
No, and you know, Jack Nicklaus would be the great example for this age group, right?
Absolutely.
Sam Snead, all of these guys, even if you're a younger player trying to keep this left heel down, you've got Bubba. Jason Day doesn't look like it, but he unweights that back foot. All of these players are doing it because it's tremendous amount of speed and force and all of these good things in the golf swing you can help generate from this.
And a couple other things you could do. I don't think it's a big problem to draw your right foot back a little bit from the target line if it helps you get in a little better rotation on the backswing. And then also, I think playing around with some foot flare, I don't know how you feel about it, but if they have this foot turned in at all,
No.
I don't like to
I'm
see
all
that.
for anything that helps a player with this restriction gain more freedom of motion.
Beautiful.
And it's about literally being athletic. It's going to allow you to really start to swing your arms, which is what's holding on to this thing.
Well, look, and you know, not speaking of that, you know, this guy's arm position on the backswing, and yes, it may have to do with his turn, but normally this is that whole connected concept we keep blowing up.
They're very across.
Yeah, two across
here, and there's no way I would hit anywhere near my normal speed from such a kind of a sawed-off look.
And maybe last but not least, you know, this guy isn't really doing it because he has an angle to his back leg. A lot of times you see people with lower body rotation issues, they move their center of mass too far to the right, which kind of locks up this whole hip area.
That's right. So it would be more of a kind of a this way move, which you're not rotating doing this. So it's really getting off of this front foot, getting some turn, getting some length to your backswing, and then finding it really early, and then just going at it.
So those are the basic ideas to help get a little bit more turn going back. I think that'll help most people right there. Those are the ones I use on an everyday basis.
Massive difference. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's instant range of motion. Absolutely.